Hey guys, Swift here with my second undrafted free agent spotlight video. I initially had Cyrus Holder featured in this video and also planned on including running back Master Teague, but both guys got cut. I will still include Cyrus Holder at the end because I know a lot of fans were curious about him. I did watch a few of his games, so I'll throw that in just in case he does stick around or come back. So for today's video, I'm breaking down 4 undrafted free agents with a bonus Cyrus Holder breakdown at the end. Let's get into it. The first guy I want to talk about is Genedllance, the offensive tackle slash guard from Florida. I loved watching tape on this kid. I only watched 2 games, but man was it fun to watch. He's not perfect or dominant, but his athleticism and IQ jump off the screen. He is great at pulling and getting into space on screenplays or even attacking the second level in the run game. He plays with a mean streak and he blocks to the echo of the whistle. He has ideal length and athleticism for an NFL tackle. He has long 37-inch arms and a huge wingspan. He loves contact and uses his arms well to initiate contact before defenders can reach his chest. He has great footwork and pass protection sets and knows how to use his hands effectively. He is a smart player. Delance's biggest weakness is play strength. Even though he plays with ferocity, he doesn't pack much punch and needs to bulk up in the NFL. He has good balance, but can get bullied by stronger defensive linemen and struggles against pure speed rushers. I believe with a year in the NFL weight room, if Delance applies himself, he has the ability to stick around long term and even compete for playing time. He has the athleticism and arm length to stay at tackle, but a switch to guard would definitely allow him to get on the field earlier. He looked great at guard in his limited time there. Overall, he is a player with a lot of intriguing traits you look for, but he needs to bulk up and refine his technique if he wants to stick around in the NFL. Next up is local kid Micah Treadway, defensive lineman from Minnesota. The local kid out of Bolingbrook, Illinois. Our defensive line should also at least have one roster spot up for grabs. We didn't do much there in the draft. Treadway probably has the lowest RAS score out of anyone that polls brought in at a whopping 2.62. He spent 4 years at Notre Dame before transferring to Minnesota for his last 2. He's another 25-year-old rookie who has the size and strength but is lacking athleticism. The most intriguing thing about his game is his initial burst off the line and his first step quickness. He can cause disruption in the pocket. He doesn't have much speed beyond his initial burst, but if he works on his game, he could be a decent backup 3 technique. Treadway needs to get stronger and develop more pass rush moves if he wants to stick around in the NFL. He is a local guy, so we should definitely root for him to make it. He just gives us another player to watch in camp and preseason. Now we get to Ryson John, the tight end from Simon Fraser. This kid has incredible size at 6'7", 230 pounds. He is bigger, but definitely not faster than Megatron Calvin Johnson. Kid is very raw, but he has an insane catch radius and the athleticism to be a red zone weapon in the NFL. I don't think he offers much of anything as a blocker right now and would strictly play the Jimmy Graham role of a pass catching, split out wide tight end. He has a lot of those same abilities, and watching him high point the ball in the back of the end zone is a thing of beauty. Tape was hard to come by on this kid, but he's very intriguing. We have a ton of tight ends right now, but I don't know if any offer the receiving ability that Ryson John does. He's not a polished route runner, but he does have deceptive speed. He ran a 4.6 40 and can stretch the field. Unfortunately, I don't have much else on this kid yet, but if he sticks around, you will notice his 6'7" size and crazy catch radius. Good luck, Ryson. Now we get to the wide receiver that beat out both Henry Litwin and Cyrus Holder and is the last remaining undrafted free agent wide receiver on our roster. That is Kevin Shaa, the wide receiver from Liberty. He averaged about 25 catches and about 400 to 500 yards per season at Liberty. He scored 12 total touchdowns over 3 years in an offense that likes to run the ball a lot more than they do pass. His quarterback the last 2 years was Malik Willis, so he did get occasional deep shots, but the offense averaged way more rushing yards per game than passing, getting about 250 rushing yards per game. Shaa is a burner with great speed. He's a good route runner and is slippery with the ball in his hands. He has good acceleration and burst. He makes sideline catches, and he's adept at making defenders miss. His biggest limitation is his size. He's vastly undersized but runs a 4.39 40. There are only 2 players in the NFL at wide receiver who are as small as Kevin that have made any kind of impact in the last few years. Those guys are Marquise Brown and Deshaun Jackson. Like those 2 guys, if Shaa wants to make an impact, he's going to have to excel at taking the tops off of defenses. He will struggle versus press coverage and has to overcome long shot odds to make it in the NFL. He does have the speed and ability, but history shows that guys his size have a hard time lasting. Does Shaa have what it takes? It's hard to tell, but he's another guy who brings legit deep speed. He is the only receiver we brought in who was under 6 feet tall, and he outlasted both Litwin and Cyrus already, so he has to have shown the coaches something that they really like. He has supreme confidence and sees himself as an NFL player. I will be rooting for him, and if he's still around come preseason, he'll be a guy fans should definitely keep an eye out for. Last, as promised, we got to talk about the kid who was a favorite of mine. People have been asking me to break him down, and I did. And then a couple hours before I was going to release this video, the Bears cut him and signed Tajae Sharpe and Dante Pettis. So I had to add another player to this video. Still want to tell you guys about Cyrus just in case he sticks around on the practice squad or gets re-signed, because I love what I saw from him, and he reminds me a lot of George Pickens. So let's get into it. Cyrus Holder is a wide receiver from Duquesne. He transferred from St. Francis. He's big-bodied with good athleticism and good speed. He has great hands and body control and showcased his big playability in his last 2 seasons. In his last 15 games, he had 13 touchdowns on 60 receptions for 1,220 yards. He's 6'4", 198 pounds, and ran a 4.4 40. He is also athletic, scoring an 8.39 on the RAS score, something we know Poles loves. His route running needs polish. He will need to add a bit of bulk at the NFL level, and he will be facing a big step up in competition. Holder has all the skills you look for in a wideout, though. Is definitely a guy I cannot wait to see at training camp. Holder is one of my favorite players from the undrafted crop. I would love to see either him or Henry Litwin make the roster. RIP. Obviously, after we added Pettis and Sharpe, there should be fierce competition for every wide receiver spot on the roster. Holder is one of 9 receivers Poles added this year that are over 6 feet tall and run a sub 4.5 40. He's one of the most intriguing of the groups, and if he steps his game up, he has that type of ability. Let's compare his size to George Pickens. Fans love George Pickens, myself included. What if I told you that Cyrus Holder had roughly the exact same size, play style, and athletic ability? It's true. Pickens might have a half inch on Cyrus, but they are the same weight and ran extremely similar times in the 40-yard dash and the 10 and 20-yard splits. Pickens' RAS is slightly higher, but I think if he would have participated in the 3-cone, he skipped it, then they would have had nearly identical scores, and Holder might have even been higher than Pickens. It's crazy the Poles found a budget George Pickens as an undrafted free agent, another testament for how deep this draft class is. It sucks that he got cut. I was really liking what I saw from this kid. I hope he sticks around on the practice squad or gets another chance. That's all I have for you today, guys. Lots of upcoming videos, and me and Coach T will be back this Sunday live on his channel. Braxton Jones is my next player breakdown video. Look out for that one. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit that like button for me, and until next time, bear down.